Welcome to the Linguistics Show, where we talk about life, love, and everything else. There's always something to talk about with this couple, so you never know what may come out of their mouth.
Hello and welcome back to the Linguistics Show. I'm Carol.
And I'm Jason.
And today we are on the last stop of our tour of the love languages.
It's been an award tour.
Okay, Tribe Called Quest. So we are talking about physical touch today. And so just as a recap from these last couple of weeks, how many love languages are there?
5, apparently. 5 love languages, and those are words of affirmation.
Physical touch, which is today.
Right.
We have receiving gifts.
We have acts of service.
And quality time.
And we're going to use this quality time today to talk about physical touch.
Yes. Well, I touch you right now physically.
Oh, Lord.
I could be touching you emotionally or spiritually.
We're not on video, ma'am.
Or mentally. Okay.
We're not on video, ma'am.
Yeah, so let's jump right in. So according to Dr. Gary Chapman, as a brief recap again for the past episodes, there are the 5 love languages. We did our love language quiz, which can be found at 5lovelanguages.com.
It's the number 5, not FIVE. 5lovelanguages.com.
And y'all, it's free. So if you are dating, married, single, not sure about what you want to do as far as your romantic future or even for your friendships, this free quiz is definitely very helpful, because it will show you, based on various questions and scenarios, what are your 5 love languages in order, and then it ranks them by the percentage, and it also will show you more about what each one is, and it also how that may apply to you.
It's a very, very brief quiz, maybe takes 5 minutes of your time, but it's actually pretty eye-opening once you actually see it.
Yeah, and so I want to just thank you, my dear JB, for being the one who was the catalyst of this love language tour.
Man, I just thought love languages was just like knowing what your person likes. Like if I like sandwiches and things like that, I always thought it was, your love languages is making bomb sandwiches. But no, that's an act of service.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump right into physical touch.
So the 5 love languages, again, are physical touch, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and words of affirmation. A lot of these can be misconstrued, and you might think something is one thing and it's actually something else. Like, for example, you may think that quality time is doing the nasty with your partner. No, that's physical touch. You might
Why you gotta say it all
I don't know.
G-rated?
I don't know. You might think that someone going to the store and getting something for you is an act of service. It's really a receiving gifts. Now, if it's running an errand for you, that's not receiving a gift. That's an act of service.
Yeah, because it's saving you time from like your regular daily things that have to be done.
And so it's important to understand these different distinctions between the love languages to help you better understand your point of view and how you should be treating your relationships. So in particular, since you wanted to joke about my G rating,
maybe it's PG because it was doing the nasty.
Oh my gosh.
And not doing it. Having
physical
sex.
touch. Physical touch. This love language is not all about the bedroom, Carol. That means you can do it in the living room too. Woo! A person whose primary love language is physical touch is, not surprisingly, very touchy. Imagine that. Hugs, pat on the back, holding hands, and thoughtful touches on the arm, shoulder, or face can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial to this person. So we talked about what the five love languages are and why Dr. Chapman, best-selling author, created this system to kind of help people in marriage counseling and relationship counseling to better understand their partner's needs. So we took the test on the website. Again, it's a free test on fivelovelanguages.com. We took the test, and ironically, physical touch was really high on my list, not so high on my wife's list.
And I was shocked because when I became a mom, I became touchy feely. But when I was not a mom, when we were just dating and then married, didn't have any children, I was not all into that lovey dovey, huggy, touchy. That wasn't my thing. And so for me, physical touch was 3%
Mm.
of my love language. And I was surprised, honestly, that it was so low because I knew that it wasn't, well, I assumed it wouldn't be last, but I didn't know it would be like basically like almost 0%. But um, with the definition that you just read, it's it's more than just no sex, whether it's in the bedroom or not in the bedroom, but like holding hands, pats on the back, hugs, and so like those kind of things, I did not equate to a love language. I was thinking it was all about intercourse, sex, being together.
So again, that's also one of those things
I
where
was misinformed.
I've said many times on this platform and also just in real life, IRL, that
What's that stands for? I didn't
so a lot of
know.
times, yeah,
I
a
didn't know
lot of
till just
times
now.
I've said this before on this platform as well as in our real lives together, that intimacy is not always having sex. I don't have to put my dick inside you to be intimate. Intimacy is just spending time together. Intimacy is just hanging out. Intimacy could be like it says, a hug. It could be physical touch, a pat on the back, like the hand on the shoulder, like Ashley likes to do to let you know it's okay.
You were a little there with her miniature growing body.
So that's why I'm saying that it's not always about sex. And I think that a lot of times in relationships, especially in Western society, we get caught up on that. And especially in our community, where our genders tend to be over sexualized. Black women are very over sexualized. Black men are very over sexualized. And, you know, while that sort of thing is important, and it is an important aspect of a relationship. You want to be able to make your partner feel good. You want to be able to feel good as well. It can't be the be all end all of everything, because then that's not a real relationship. That's a situationship.
And so with that, I did not, okay, I my brain cells had enough sense to know like what I was thinking was not right. But like my own experience, I always thought that if there was a problem with the relationship, that if I wrecked the car or did something that was gonna,
Wreck the car.
that's the first thing I thought of because it
Oh,
saved by the bell.
because it's accurate representation of our real lives
First of all,
together.
I was hit. Okay, so don't even do that.
Which time?
The first time I was head on by this man who got out of his lane. And the second time I
The
was
crazy
T-boned by
drunk lady.
by
The drunk old
by
lady.
a drunk senior citizen. Oh,
By someone. I'm
and then and
sorry.
she had the nerve to be crying and call 911. I'm thinking, you hit me, lady. Why you?
Oh my
Maybe she was
god.
panicking.
No, she was on that shit. Remember, the officer told us she was off her meds.
Well, I was in the car still. I
The
didn't get out.
officer told
You came to get me.
the
Go to get the
officer told
kids.
us she was off her meds. She was having like an episode.
Well, I didn't hear all that because I was still in the car and I
Oh,
was annoyed
I would have been
by
annoyed
her
too.
calling 911 for her hitting me. And I wasn't hurt, but I was stuck in the car at the door. But anyhow, another
It hurt
issue.
my vacation because we about to take my truck on a nice whirlwind vacation, and then that jump went smooth to the shop.
Yeah. So okay.
Anyway,
So
back to the
then
show.
back to what I was saying is that I was really misinformed about how physical touch does not always solve problems when you're with someone, whether you're dating or married or whatever it is.
So this
Because
whole long windy road, she's trying to tell us that she thought if she wrecked the car, she would give me some and it would be all good. That's not all good.
I
I'll take the sum. I'll gladly take the sum, and I'll take
I
seconds of
mean,
the
it doesn't
sum.
have to be as extreme as having a car accident,
True,
but it
true.
could be like, oh,
I'm trying to be funny, but yes, true. You're right.
yes. And so me being hit by people is not funny. And I don't mean physically, I mean like by cars. But any
So
okay.
when you get hit by a car, it doesn't physically happen?
I wasn't a pedestrian, I was inside the vehicle.
I know.
They didn't hit me like my kneecaps.
The point is that Carol's trying to make is that over
I used to
years
think that
of
sex solved problems, and
there you
I was
go.
wrong.
There you
It
go.
can make things better, but the actual issue or problem won't go away. And so that took me a couple of years of us being married to really realize that I can't just be sexual and then the thing I did went away. The guy forgot to pick up something that you had asked for at the store, or forgot to, or was late being somewhere, because that goes back to quality
That quality
time
time. That's
being
one
late.
of the biggest eye openers of this whole love language journey for us. If we decide to do a recap episode on all of them, was that quality time was what was most important to me, and it fully explained why I used to get so upset when you be late because you're wasting my time. And I used to just think that I actually had a punctuality problem. I don't have a punctuality problem. I have a
It's not
quality
a
time
problem being
problem.
punctual.
I have a
That's a good
quality
thing.
time
That's
problem.
not a bad
No, what I'm
thing.
saying is I thought I had a conniption with punctuality, and I
You
realized
do.
I don't. No, I don't. I realize I don't. I just don't like my time being wasted. Like quality time is important to me. If I'm spending time with friends or family, I don't want it to be wasted. If I'm sitting around in the middle of the day and don't got nothing going on, I don't care how late you are. You
Oh,
get the
you
difference.
don't? Okay.
You get the difference though? Like, oh my God. She said, oh, you don't? I just left the window open for all kinds of
No, okay,
tardiness
no,
going
because
forward.
I have been making a really, really concerted effort to be better with my time, whether it's for
Yes.
myself, for the kids, for you, because I want to be a better example for our three daughters on the importance of timeliness, and then to not only see that dad is punctual, I want them to know that their mom, also clearly female, is punctual, and therefore it's important for them as young ladies to be punctual.
They tired of it with me. They just be like, Dad won't be early everywhere. I'm
Well,
sick of it.
yeah, because that times is too much too. I'm like, you can't be that early. Stop being so early.
Well, you know why we're early? So we don't have to worry about being late.
And then sometimes you too early, and then like no one's there to call and talk about. No one's here. I'm like, it's 10 minutes ahead of time. Practice ain't start yet.
Okay, but at least I'm not late. And
Okay.
so anyway, we're
Yeah.
talking about the wrong one.
So back to physical touch.
And see how 3% you try to just jump to something else because it's
Because
not that
it's not that
important.
important to me. Let me get my outline out. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Back to the
And so
outline.
like what Carol had said earlier,
What was
a
your
lot of
score
times
though?
in relationships, my score was 23%, thank you. A lot of times in relationships, both men and women will be like, oh, if something didn't work out or I didn't do something right, then I'm gonna try to put that thing on them. And the thing about that is while physical touch can be important in a relationship, if that's not your partner's love language, then all you're doing is just, yay, it was fun, but like you said before, the situations is still, not only is the situation still there, but if that's not your partner's love language, then you literally just, I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, we had sex, great,
And now what? This
now
problem is
what?
still here. Fix the problem.
Right. And so that's why it's really important to know these type of things. And I really feel like it's also very important to understand that it's not just having sex. It's like
I didn't know that
who's
either until this definition.
someone who's the physical touch person, wants a back rub, just wants a pat on the back when they do something good, wants that little hand on their shoulder, or like when you're driving somewhere, wants that little hand on their knee or something, or just from a guy's perspective in particular, one of the things we like is when the girl is like laid up on us, like put your head on my shoulder or
Just
something
lay
like
your
that, put your head
head
in my
on my
lap, stuff like that
pillow.
is
He's talking over
like
my
that,
2020.
yeah, because
You're
they're not
just
here for that.
talking over my
I have a point
2020, okay?
because I'm trying to get my point across, and you singing
because it was really relevant. It was a song that really captured what you were saying. And you know how much I love music, and how much I enjoy putting song lyrics in titles to like what you're saying. We do that a lot. And so now our listeners who we know and don't know can also know more things about us.
It's a lot of no's. That's who we know and don't know can know more.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was not on purpose.
So again, it's not just it's not just the sex, guys. It's got to be other things as well. If if your partner is a physical touch person, for the guys, what I would say would be a real good lesson for this type of person. If your partner is a physical touch person, learn your partners what they like and they don't like. So don't just run up to them and punch them in the shoulder. Like
Like learn their body, or like learn
that's what I'm trying to
like
say. Yeah, like learn their
holding
body, like
hands.
learn their body, learn what they like and don't like. Just because they like physical touch doesn't mean they like all physical touch. Maybe your partner is subconscious about a part of their body. Well, if you're always hugging on it and touching on it, maybe they don't like that.
Yes,
You know what I'm
respect the
saying? You
boundaries.
know what I'm saying? That's one of those things to think about. And from a guy's perspective, one of the things, if your partner happens to be a love language person and involves physical touch, it's all those hugs and holding them, making them feel secure, like making them feel protected. That's the type of thing that you can do as a guy when your partner is a physical touch love language person, that will really, really go the extra mile to show them that you care.
So like with my physical touch percentage being so low, and me acknowledging the fact that I was not touchy feely until we had kids, because I did not understand. I mean, honestly, I did not understand how some women who were already moms, and I wasn't a mom yet, could just embrace all these children and hug them and be like, "Oh, good job, sweetie, you got it, baby." I'm thinking, these aren't your kids. Like, why are you hugging these people?
Somebody else's children.
Yeah, because I would be looking at them side eye thinking, okay, well, I never had kids yet, but I will eventually one day. But like, why y'all so nurturing to these children? And so it wasn't it wasn't until I actually became a mom that I really embraced physical touch.
Hey,
Bec-
by the way, don't be just hugging up on other people's children, man. That ain't necessarily the
well,
same
I
thing
mean,
to do.
I don't mean they were hugging on strangers, Jason.
Right, just running up in
It
the
was
mall. Oh, you're cute. Give me a hug. Nope.
these are clearly kids who they know,
Right, right,
whether it's
right.
their niece or nephew or their friend's kids, or it wasn't like random
Something like
kids.
that. Right.
But I'll be with them at cookouts and stuff. I'll be thinking they are really loving these children. Okay, that's not me. I don't want to hug these kids who aren't mine. I don't want to hug anyone's kids. I don't have any kids.
Oh my God.
I didn't like physical touch. You know that.
And so it's ironic.
But I'm a very nurturing person. But
Just don't touch me. Just don't touch me. She's a very nurturing person. Just don't touch her.
I'll touch you, but
Oh my. Ooh, I like the
or
way
I'll
that
touch the
sounds.
kids and hug them and embrace them. But I
OMG.
really did not like physical touch.
And so one of the funniest things
3%.
about this whole exercise, though, is it's not that, I mean, it is eye-opening that we have some of the same things, but mostly
But
different
something that's
things.
so different, and there were
But
such different percentages.
the good
Whew.
thing with that is though, Carol, is that that's complementary. And that's why we work well together, is because we're complementary. Imagine you had two people who were both physical touch people. And all y'all never got anything accomplished because you
You
wouldn't get out
always want to
you
be
always
up
want to be up
in or on somebody.
right. And so you never get anything done because all you guys do is make each other feel good all the time. And so while I'm not knocking that lifestyle, by all means, if that's what y'all got going on, then
You do you, boo.
do it up. But one of the reasons that me and Carol work so well is because we are complementary, not because we are the same on everything. A lot of it is complementary. And yes, physical touch was high on my list. It was low on Carol's list. Another example is acts of service was number one on Carol's list. It was the bottom of my list. And so those complementary things are why we work well together.
Oh, but I do want to actually plug. Check episode 17 about, do we go together or do we
Go together?
no. Okay.
Is that a question? Do we go together or do we go together?
So then
We go
Okay.
together real bad. That's what they be saying. Y'all, we go
So
together
then,
now real bad.
yes. So then, check out episode 17 from
Mm-hmm.
last year. Do we go together or do opposites attract? And so that goes back to us being complementary. You can help us out. I had
And
to plug the
so
episode in.
again, thank you for the shameless plug. There's
You're
nothing wrong with that. Ding,
welcome.
ding, ding. There's, we talked about what can happen with people whose love language is physical touch, and it's not just always having sex with them. It's every once in a while, run up on them, give them a hug, make them feel secure, that sort of thing. But there's also a opposite of this type of thing, and so while physical presence and accessibility are crucial to the physical touch love language person, neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructive. Physical touch fosters a sense of security and belonging in any relationship. So if you're the type of person who's physically abusive, clearly that could be a very, very big problem for the physical touch love language person. So that would be the way that you use that in the opposite way. And so obviously you want to be mindful of that. I'm not going to sit here and condone physical abuse in any manner.
Nope, not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not going to condone that in any manner, but you need to be especially mindful. I'm not going to sit here and judge anyone's relationship. Y'all do y'all. Whatever y'all got going on is y'all business. However, be mindful of your partner's love language. If your partner's love language is physical touch and y'all get into a little argument or something and you put your hands on him or you put your hands on her and your partner happens to be the physical touch person, you just ruin the relationship for life. There's no coming back from that. They can say, "Oh, I forgive you," and things are okay, but you've legitimately ruined that relationship. And there really is no way to come back from using physical touch in a negative way. I guess I could also equate that to a sexual assault inside of a relationship. There's no coming back from that if your partner's love language is physical
Yeah,
touch,
because
because
your
you
trust is
use
broken.
the trust is broken. You use the physical touch that they crave so much in a negative way, and not just in a negative way, but in a hurtful way. And yeah, as you can imagine, that's like talking crazy to the person who's the words of affirmation love language. The person who's the words of affirmation love language, and you talk all crazy and tell them that they're a loser and they're this and they're that, and make them feel less worthy with your words.
They're going to shut down.
They're going to shut down, and you've ruined that person. And so, like, that's where the love language quiz, the website, all of these podcast episodes, all of this, the reason why we're doing this is because it is important to know what your partner feels. It's not important to know what you feel. You should know what you feel. If you need to figure out what you feel, that's important too. It's important to know yourself and know
Yes.
what you want out of a relationship or what have you. But it's paramount importance to make sure that you know what your partner needs, wants, desires, feels, etc. Because you can make unforgivable, not can't come back mistakes, and you wouldn't even know you made that mistake. You would have thought you were just telling somebody how you feel, and you just ruined the relationship because your person happened to be a words of affirmation person. Or, like, let's say that your person is a receiving gifts person and you don't ever do thoughtful gifts. You just, last minute go to the dollar store and grab them something. Well, the receiving gifts person realizes that there was no thought put into said gift when they see it. And it's like, again, that's these are the actions that the love languages can be used in a negative way. And so that was the other reason that we don't really like to talk about negative stuff on this platform. We try to keep it positive, but it is important to understand that the love languages can be used incorrectly. And that's why it's also important to know yours and your partner's love language, not just to get everything right,
Right.
but to make sure you don't get it wrong.
I like it. That was a really good summary of all five.
Girl, your
But
man vicious like that. Don't you know the words of affirmation be coming out of my mouth and serving you with these gifts,
wow.
with the gift of my quality time and your physical touch? See how I weave all five of them together into the
Yes,
same sentence.
you're very good with your words, Mr. Linguistics. But let's get actually back to physical touch because I
Uh-huh.
want to also thank you for just opening up my eyes, because like you do enjoy physical touch. That wasn't your first love language, but I've always known that it's important to you, just to whether it's cuddling or snuggling, whatever word you want to use. And so I've been able to embrace that more as a woman. So not even counting me being a mom, but because with the kids, I'm definitely very touchy feely with them, and in an appropriate way, not inappropriately, but I definitely give them hugs, give them pats on the backs or that kind of things, because that's important to me as a mom. But as a woman, I just really did not understand and get how how physical touch can really make a big difference. And like you would used to give us, not us, used to give me the example many years ago, early on in our marriage, about like how about how if a baby isn't held or touched, that after some period of time, they could die. So I was thinking, okay, here you go again with your knowledge about
Random
XYZ,
things.
yeah, random. Because
My
I'm thinking you're making this up, and
random
I don't
knowledge.
believe you. But I'm like, but I'll just nod and say,
If y'all
okay.
ever get me on Jeopardy, I
He
swear to
has
God, I'm
all the
about to win this,
nuggets of
Joe.
random knowledge, but but as I became a mom, I really understood more about, yes, like physical touch and embracing is paramount to anyone. So whether your love language is that or not, everyone needs to be held, hand holded, or, and this is not a word, but
Handheld. Everyone needs to
everyone
hold hands
needs,
sometimes.
well, not
Is that better? I understand
I'd
what you're
even
trying to say.
like holding hands until like
Oh.
after we had kids. 'Cause I'm like, hold your that, but
You know what's funny about that though is that you would run up on me and hold my hand in public,
I
but you don't
know,
want to hold hands, Carol.
because
So it was
no,
more
but
about the symbolism than it was actually
no, it
holding my
wasn't
hand.
even that, because I didn't
Ah,
even, it was with symbolism. It took me time to really embrace
girl,
physical touch, because I did not want to hold anyone's hand. I mean, if it's my kid,
she would want to hold my hand in public around
but,
other
but
people.
what I'm saying is that it took me time to even get to that point of wanting to even do that. It was not an immediate thing.
Okay.
Why are you giving me that look that they can't see?
Huh? What look is it?
I can't reenact your face,
Oh, well, either way.
but I okay. Okay.
So, yes, that is true. It took Carol a little while to warm up to physical touch as a love language.
Yes, and like even during sex, I just wanted just to have sex. I didn't want to be rubbing your back or that kind of thing, because I just didn't see the importance. But as I embraced, I'm just being honest, honey. As I embraced physical touch more, and I embraced myself as a woman more, embraced me being a woman more, I really did value physical touch and intimacy. And so I am disappointed actually that it was so low. And I mean I can see it being last, but 3% of my overall ranking, dang.
Well, you were being honest with yourself, so that's what that's how you got there. That doesn't mean that you don't like physical touch, Carol. It just
I
means
know that's
of the
not what it
five
means.
things, that was what was the lowest ranking. That's all that means.
Yeah, so that's enough of my physical touch stories,
Oh my
because I
God.
do like to hug people who are not my kids. So whether it's friends, and even that, back in high school, I wasn't even into hugging. I feel like they were like, don't hug me. Like, I mean, if we're friends, and I just saw you last week, but like, hey girl, hey, I don't need to hug you, because I did not want to be touched physically unless it was for a good reason. So,
A good reason.
yeah, and that is subjective
Oh
on what a
geez.
good reason is.
Oh my gosh. And so that's why again you want to be careful of these negative ways that physical touch can be used. So just be mindful of those type of things. Just to kind of wrap it all up there. Just be mindful. Yes, if your partner if your partner is the type of person who speaks the physical touch love language, you know,
Not me.
it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward what you got to do. You know, it's pretty straightforward. It does not mean you need to have sex with them all the time, though that wouldn't help. I mean, excuse me, wouldn't hurt.
That wouldn't help.
That wouldn't help. No, it wouldn't hurt. It really means that you just need to be there for them. That's all. And so, just again, want to be mindful that just like any of the other love languages, if you do the opposite of the love language, you're hurting the person who, you know, speaks that language way more than you would think. And so just be mindful of, when it comes to physical touch, about being respectful of your partner's boundaries. So now that we've gone through all of the various love languages,
and now that I also many years ago began to embrace physical touch with you, and yes, I do hug you in public. I do hold your hand in public. I do hug you in the house because I love you and because I like you, and I see a future with us.
well, that's good to know.
If there was anybody before you, nope. Don't touch me. Just leave me alone.
Well, I guess all of that is good to know. Lord help us.
This is why I am funny and you're funny in your own way. So I am funny
in my own way. I'm funny in all kinds of ways. You're the one who's funny in your way, man.
I'm funny with my stories.
You're funny
with your jokes.
Your funny is up to interpretation. My funny is obvious.
Who's interpreting? Okay.
Who's interpreting?
Yeah, you.
I have to interpret it all the time. I gotta figure out why it's funny. I have to interpret it.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's get.
I'm sorry. That was funny.
Let's get into wordplay, which we haven't done in a while, but let's bring it back.
What's wordplay?
Oh, come on with the bell. So wordplay is when we do or don't give each other about 60 seconds to define and use a word that the other person picks.
OMG, so we do or don't.
It is subjective. It depends on how much I really want to be timed or not.
What's your letter today?
My letter will be P for physical. Let's get
P.
physical.
Pushing P. Pushing
That's
P.
pushing
Pushing
T.
P. Pushing P.
Oh, you pushing P. Okay.
Oh.
I thought you said pushing T.
So this is why.
Restaurant.
That's okay, baby. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
That was so loud.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, she doesn't like physical touch. It's okay. I can't. It's okay. It's okay. There you go. And your word of the day is. Oh, that's too easy.
You give it to me anyway.
Prelude.
Prelude. Okay. Prelude is the beginning of something. And so the first thing that came to mind was the movie Prelude to a Kiss. And after that, it was a Honda Prelude. But the actual word is the beginning of something. It could be musical. It could be something written.
An introductory performance, action, or event preceding or preparing for the principal or more important matter.
So yes, that was right.
Basically, is you buy a prelude before you move up to an accord.
I like that.
Is that what
was
you're supposed to
one.
do? You start on a Civic, then you get a prelude, and then you move on to an Accord.
Into my sentence.
And then eventually you have a Pilot or I don't know. I don't like Hondas. Anyway,
an Odyssey.
Right. I don't know. I don't like Hondas. Anyway,
minivans in this family.
Right.
Prelude.
Prelude.
I used to really, really want my aunt's Honda Prelude, but then she told me no, but it's still in the family, so I know where to find if the person says yes to the Prelude. That was my interpretation of the Prelude.
Okay. I don't think prelude as a proper noun was the way we were supposed to do this, but I'm glad that you used the word in a sentence.
Let me do it again.
No. You used prelude twice in a sentence. It was a run-on sentence, but we all know what you meant. Somebody who's listening to this, track down Auntie's 86 Honda Prelude.
I already know where it is. And if you think hard enough,
I know where it is.
So already know where it is.
So that just guess who needs to make a drive down to Virginia.
You say all that part. That part say it to yourself. The last part. Okay, what is your letter? And give me the dictionary, sir. Thank you.
My letter today will be G. We move in
G.
silence like lasagna.
Okay. He makes banging lasagna too. Oh my gosh, yes he does.
I make banging everything. I'm good with my hands. I know how to make things. I know how to take a bunch of pieces and put them together and make something magnificent with it. Be it food, carpentry, cars. I'm just good at putting things together. I guess I always have been. Anyway.
Okay, so your word, Jason, is grail.
Grail?
Yes.
Grail? Grail?
Yes.
Oh, easy. So a grail would be, so it depends upon the context, but generally speaking, a grail is something of extreme importance that's hard to find, or like a collectible that is a one of a kind. It's something that is of the not utmost importance, but the most valuable of a collectible. So like the Holy Grail, as it pertains to the Bible, for example, was Jesus's cup. And so that was the grail, so to speak. So I don't know because my usage of the word from my cultural perspective, and anybody who knows me already knows where I'm going with this, is that we talk about our grails as like those sneakers that came out like maybe 15, 20 years ago that you can't buy in a store, you might never find. And so I have a couple of grails like that, like things that I wish I could have and I probably never will find. And if I do find, it won't be wearable and it'll probably be worth 20 times the actual value. So like a hard to find item.
Okay, so I'll give you the Merriam-Webster definition of grail.
So like a hard to find item,
I'm about
right?
to read it. So it has two definitions. The first is the cup or platter used according to medieval legend by Christ at the Last Supper, and therefore the object of nightly quests. The second one is the object of an extended or difficult quest. So you're on point. You're there. So what is your sentence? Unless you want to count what you're talking about with your shoes as your sentence.
So my grail would be the Atmos Air Max ones. Not the Atmos ones. I like the Atmos ones. Let me take that back. The Atmos Air Max ones wouldn't be my grail. My grail would be the Safari Air Max ones. The OG Safari Air Max ones would be my grails. The one shoe that I would love so much if I could have a pair, but they haven't come out in 15 years. They retroed one time. I missed them the one time. And so, yes, if I could get my hands on a pair of Safari Air Max 1s, I would be a happy camper. Those are my girls.
Okay, well, thank you. And so thank y'all for tuning into the Linguistic Show and staying with us on this love language tour. I do know that for me, it was not as easy to stay on track with these episodes for various reasons. And so I do appreciate you wanting to get the tour to stay on track. So thank you. And so you can check out past episodes, including the previous love languages. You can find us on Spotify and on Stitcher and on Google Podcasts, searching The Linguistic Show. You can check out the website, which is linguisticshow.com. And you can also find us on Instagram at Linguistic Show.
Also, on your smart speakers, just tell your smart speaker to say, hey, play The Linguistic Show, either in your car, your Amazon Alexa device, or any other smart speakers.
And y'all, it works for real, it really does. So we will talk to y'all next time.
Have a good night, y'all.
If you enjoyed this, like, comment,
subscribe, and share to The Linguistic Show.
This has been an Ashangali Enterprises production.
Co-produced by Naomi, music by Brassville.